This is the State of the Saints podcast. This is TJ Jones. So glad you can check out the podcast. The New Orleans Saints taking on the New York Giants, the Week 4 matchup. The Saints go up to East Rutherford, New Jersey to take on the New York Football Giants. And a lot of questions need to be answered by the New Orleans Saints. And one of the top questions that each and every one of us has as fans of the team is, can the secondary get it together? Well, Marshawn Lattimore talked to the media and he discussed a little bit about some of the defensive woes and maybe correcting them.
You say y'all need to be better on the back end. What has been the shortcoming back there? Where have you guys not played as well as you're capable of?
I don't know, man. Just we gotta compete better, and just the technique. You know, we've been doing some stuff out of character, and just communication. You know, all that go with it. So I mean, you know, we be doing good for like the first half, and then the second half you just fall apart. So you know, we just gotta get better with that. Stay consistent with what we do.
Did y'all hear Marshawn Lattimore take that deep breath when he was asked about the back end of the defense? listen.
Y'all need to be better on the back end. What has been the shortcoming back there? Where
One more time.
y'all need to be better on the back end. What has been the shortcoming back there? Where
Man, that is crazy. Do you see how frustrated he is? Imagine how we are as fans. Year after year after year, it's the same old song and dance. The Saints not having a defense, the Saints allowing teams to go up and down the field on them, slicing through the defense like Swiss cheese. The same old thing we have to endure as Saints fans. So every Saints fan, I'm pretty sure, made this sound one time or another.
y'all need to be better on the back end. What has been the shortcoming back there? Where
But seriously, man, look, the Saints need to do something about this defense. They need to do something about this secondary. The New Orleans Saints have fixed their running defense. I will give them credit for that. Marcus Davenport has come into his own. He had his first sack this past weekend against the Atlanta Falcons. And you look at the defense up front. They are stout. They are stopping the run. It's just that secondary with the issues. You thought King Crawley was the problem. All of a sudden, you input P.J. Williams, and he gets beat like a Persian rug. All we want is somebody to compliment Marshawn Lattimore. The guy is legit at cornerback. We got a legit cornerback. We just need somebody on the other side. Now, according to sources, early in the week, the Saints worked out Sterling Moore and a couple more cornerbacks. But I didn't hear them signing any of the cornerbacks that they worked out. So they're going to go into this game against the New York Football Giants, who have a very, very respectable wide receiving corps. They have people like Sterling Shepard, and not to mention one of the best wide receivers in all of football, Odell Beckham Jr. And I heard that Evan Ingram is not playing. He's not playing. He plays tight end. He's like one of those receiving tight ends, so the Saints don't have to worry about that. But the fact of the matter is this. Teams knowing that all they have to do is throw the ball deep down the field, and only two things are going to happen. Is rather there's going to be a big play or pass interference is going to take place. Teams are going to continuously try to test the Saints secondary when it comes to the deep ball. They have to improve and they have to get better, because as good as Drew Brees has been playing, Drew Brees is having an MVP year. Drew Brees is going to have to be MVP every single week if the defense continuously plays like this in the secondary. He's going to have to be flawless. He can literally make no mistakes on the field if the New Orleans Saints have a chance of winning a football game, because the defense is not going to be able to do it. But just for a few minutes, let me defend this Saints defense. You know, when I look at the National Football League, you know, the more I think about it, the more I'm starting to see a trend. Now, we all know about this whole new roughing the passer rule, right? We know about the rule that you can't put your full body weight on a quarterback. And because of this, it seems like we are having quarterbacks put up Madden 2019 numbers. I mean, throwing for 3, almost 500 yards each and every week. And you notice that some of the teams that are elite teams don't have a good defense. I mean, I was thinking about this. This is weird. You look at some of the top teams in the National Football League. You look at the Los Angeles Rams. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs. You look at the New Orleans Saints. All of these teams are considered elite teams, but their defense is struggling. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is putting up some big numbers. This man has more touchdown passes through 3 games than any other quarterback in NFL history. Think about that. Think about all of the quarterbacks that have played in the league in 3 games. Patrick Mahomes has more touchdowns than any one of them. His defense isn't even in the top 10. They're not even in the top 15. They're struggling. Jared Goff, who put up 5 touchdowns against the Minnesota Vikings. But you look at his defense, they're not even in the top 15. They're struggling. So when you think about it, are the Saints really in trouble? Should we as fans be concerned that the Saints are not going to win a lot of games if their defense doesn't improve? I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs are proving that wrong. Rams proving that wrong. I mean, are we being too hard on the Saints? But I will say this. It's very comfortable in knowing that you actually have a defense that can actually make stops when it is necessary. The New Orleans Saints can't make a stop. They were able to make a stop last week against the Falcons, 1 stop. But besides that, Calvin Ridley was a one-man show. Julio Jones running all in the middle of the field. How do you leave one of the top 3 wide receivers in the NFL wide open in the middle of the field? I mean, it's quizzical to me. But the New Orleans Saints will take on the New York Giants, so I will give my prediction here. I think that the New Orleans Saints are going to be better on defense. I think that their secondary is going to improve. I don't think this is going to be a shootout like last week. I don't even think the New York Giants are going to get 20 points. I think that the Saints are going to beat the New York Giants 31-17. 31-17. I think that Drew Brees is going to throw 3 touchdowns. I think that Alvin Kamara is going to rush for over 100 yards. Werner is not playing. He is the top linebacker of the New York Giants. I think that Michael Thomas is going to have a big game due to the fact that Eli Apple, the top cornerback for the New York Giants, is not going to play. So I think that Drew Brees with 3 touchdowns, Michael Thomas is going to have a touchdown, and Alvin Kamara is going to run for over 100 yards. And I even got the defense creating a turnover. I don't know who's going to get the turnover. I'm pushing towards Marcus Williams. Guy's having a big year. But I think that the New Orleans Saints are going to hold the New York Giants under 20 points. This has been the State of the Saints. Check me out on Twitter at TJJones8 and also follow me on Facebook at TJ Jones. Once again, this has been the State of the Saints. Who dat?